Now, joining me on the couch this evening are some very familiar faces. All the way from Ringside in Las Vegas, MMA guru John Kavanagh. John, we are lucky to have you on this couch. You just flew in this morning.
Just about made it.
Yeah, nothing like a dose of jet lag just to be grilled for an hour on the couch. So thank you for joining us.
No, it's a pleasure to be here.
So what was it like? What was your experience like in Las Vegas?
You know, we've done a couple of fight camps out there now, so in the lead up to it felt the same. You know, you're going to the gym twice a day every day, but when fight week came around, then it felt very different because you know, you have the whole MMA world watching, and then now we had the whole boxing world watching. And then on the night, it was just an incredible atmosphere to walk out there, and there's always those surreal moments where you're walking past, and you know, Gerard Butler is ringside. Had to keep my girlfriend away from him.
Or him away from her.
But overall, you know, I won't lie, still disappointed, still stings a bit. However, it was a fantastic experience. It was a great learning experience. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, great time.
And what was your role on the night then? Like, so obviously we saw you ringside, but like, what were your what was the key role for you?
You know,
when
it's
you
the
were
same for an MMA fight. You know, you're not walking to the cage and I'm in Conor's ear. Okay, if he grabs your wrist, you counter by grabbing. That's not what you're there for on the night. You know, not for that type of high technical advice. It's more just to make sure he's in the right frame of mind. And that's the same whether he's doing an MMA contest or a boxing contest. So I was the same job as always.
When you were out there, as you say, passing all these celebs, and are you like, is it like a movie? Is there a montage of the first time you met a young Conor when he was 17, and you know, all the things he said, someday I'm going to make it, or you know, does that happen? Like, are you in the history of the moment?
Yeah, like. I don't do that too much, but there's definitely is moments where you're, you know, cage side or ringside, and you just kind of glance, and you know, Leonardo DiCaprio is his arms reach you, and it's just a bit weird, it's surreal. But then you kind of snap, and then you're back in the moment, and you're back in the fight. But
and how did you find that transition then? Obviously, you're the biggest MMA coach in the world. How did you find the transition then to be a boxing coach? Like, did you have to swat up and change your techniques a lot, or how was it?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch Conor's fights, a lot of his fights are won with boxing techniques. He came from Crumlin Boxing Gym, one of the best boxing gyms in the country. I'm good friends with Packy Collins, that runs a good boxing gym in Dublin as well. So we had a lot of resources that we could tap into. But you know, it was a lot of his winning techniques that he uses in the cage did transfer. Be kind of like somebody from GAA going and playing soccer. It's not going to be completely new. Actually, it's a pretty good analogy because you're just kind of taking away techniques, but still, you know, the coordination of being able to be in the right spot on the pitch and the kicking techniques and stuff. So there was a lot that was transferable.
And do you think then, you know, with your background in MMA and now boxing, do you think that there's any techniques or methods that the GAA world should be employing in strength and conditioning or whatever it might be?
Yeah, well, what really got me back into watching GAA was my relationship with Kieran McGeeney. He's been training with me now 7 or 8 years, and I've been lucky enough to have trained with the Kildare team and with the Compromise Rules team. And although some of the, most of the techniques won't exactly, you know, I have shown them a few chokes and stuff and gotten in trouble for that, but a lot, you know, the techniques won't exactly transfer to the game. I think the physical nature of it and the confidence you get from being, you know, I have seen it sometimes on the pitch where a player's thrown to the ground and they'll hold them down for a second or two longer than they should. But if I can show them how to get back up in a second, it will kind of give them that confidence of not being worried about going somewhere. So I say it in MMA all the time, I train my fighters to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, and I think that's the same no matter what game you're getting ready for.
So what about the winning mentality? I think this is something that, you know, there's a lot of focus on in Mayo at the moment, you know, whether they have enough of it, enough to get them past where they need to go. You know, winning mentality in MMA is so important, and that self-belief is evident every time Conor McGregor opens his mouth. It's there. Do you think that that's something that you can teach people? Or are you born with it?
Yeah, no, a bit of both.
Yeah.
What I'd find interesting is the difference in the semis. That like we have a thing in fighting, like we weigh in 24 hours before, and some fighters when they make weight, they see that as the victory, and they come down and they don't perform on the fight night. You've got to see that it was just, you know, that was just getting you ready for the fight.
Yeah.
And there were such big differences in the semis for both teams. Like I almost think Mayo feel they've won because they beat Kerry, and will they be able to bring it back up again? Whereas Dublin had a bit of an easier semi, so they're just peaking at the right time. So I think that's what's going to be a bit of a difference on this.
Is there a different psychology, like for an individual sport? So Conor, it's about him. He's the most important person, and he has to be very selfish, like, or else it won't work. And then for a team, each athlete has to look after their own position, but then they have to be a team player as well too. So they have to kind of be selfish, but not be egotistical. Where's that balance strike? What does the coach do?
I do talk to Kieran McGeaney about this, that, you know, we're the complete opposite in coaching styles, because I am looking for the selfish, arrogant, you know, confident person, whereas even with Jim McGavin, like the way he, you know, mightn't put a certain player on because he's shown there is no stars. It's you know, it's about the team. That's the opposite for me. Of course, a fighter needs a team around him to get him ready for a fight. But on the night, it is just about him, and he's got to be very selfish in how he prepares for that fight.
I just imagine, like, Conor would be completely different with a GAA pre-match, pre-fight speech. Like, he'd be saying, "Oh, Jesus, you know, Mayweather, like, you know, we'll do a bit anyway. I don't expect much out of it. Like, you know, I'll try my best anyway. Sure, to get this far, just help of God, thanks be to God. You know, like."
Well, what do you think? Do you not think, as Irish people, we're embracing that style of self-belief a little bit more? You know, we were probably a little bit more begrudging about it previously, but now we like to see it, and Conor is evidence of that.
Yeah, big time, and I see a lot of it in the Dublin team as well. This not being afraid of saying I'm good, you know, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to win. And certainly when, you know, for my world, when Conor started speaking that way, it was frowned upon, and, you know, I think Americans would call it confidence and Irish call it arrogance. But I have seen that change in the last couple of years, and people being not afraid to say when they're good at something.
There's the big cliche.
Not a boast if it's a fact.
Pinned up on the dressing room wall, isn't it? Like, you know, a coach, I presume in GA would say to them, don't give them any motivation that could be put up, you know, any comment that could be put up on a dressing room door. That would, you know, but I don't see why you can't.
No, that sounds to me like he's living too much in the other team's mind. You know, you're afraid of what they're going to do or what you're saying. It's nothing to do with them. It's to do with you. And you know, that's something we've tried to focus on in fighting. Yeah, like when predicting fights, I always say to people, like, you don't know what that guy's gone through the week of the fight. You know, did he break up with his girlfriend? Has he got some person? And with a team sport, it's that multiplied by
30,
you know,
whatever it is.
It could be any one of them play it off, but
yeah,
it's interesting.
It is interesting in the Mayo camp, certainly. And we've a lot of questions coming in on Facebook. John, a lot of questions coming in for you, and, you know, activity with the Dublin team. And is there any of them that you'd like to get into the gym and train?
Well, Philly's been out. He's
been with you?
He's done a little bit, and to be honest, I think any of those guys would make great. I don't think it matter what sport you went into, but I really do admire the composure and the aggressiveness of them as well, and the intelligence behind it. You know, they're really smart about how they train. So bring them all in.
And you were saying earlier you were involved with the compromise rules, so you have worked with.
That's where you got the inspiration to go into MMA, wasn't it? Was working.
Sort of tipped me onto one side. No, I've done a bit with them. And I just like anything physical. You know, I've done a bit of rugby, and I like doing this, and obviously my sport is physical. And I just like the tenacity they bring to it. You know, as I said, my experience with football is through Kieran McGeaney, and he sort of defines those qualities. And it's what I've seen in the players I've dealt with too.